My sister wants to keep a spare mattress under her son Liam's bed, but there's just not quite enough space for it. So she asked me if I could help her. We needed 4 supports, each about 40 centimeters high, that would be strong enough to take the weight of a whole bed and her son. So the obvious answer was a 3D print that would be filled in, but it would take forever to print and cost quite a bit of money for the filament. So I designed one that would hopefully be strong enough and use minimum filament. This first version was just a solid block with an indent at the top. Or it's actually a block with another block cut out at the top. And it would keep the block in the proper place, but it would still use a lot of filament. I really didn't want to fill it 100%, and I didn't trust filling it with anything less than that, although it turns out later on that wasn't true. So this next version had a lot more empty space with a cylinder in the middle to provide support. But after thinking about it for a short while, I realised that almost all the weight would go to the middle, and that would mean a much weaker support than the whole block. This is the third version according to my versioning system. I just put numbers after the files, but I can't see any difference from the first version, so I don't know what I was thinking there. I wish I'd kept some notes. So here's a fourth version where I'm getting closer to the final version. Triangles are great for stability, and this design tries to support a wide ledge on the top and distribute all the weight force to the sides and the floor. However, it does seem a bit complicated, and I always prefer a simpler solution if that's possible. There's also still quite a lot of filament in this design. This is the final design, still keeping the idea of a strong triangle and a ledge to hold the leg in place, but trying to get away with as little material as possible. I didn't do any calculations or measurements, but just went with my gut feeling and experience of what's held up and what's broken in the past. I'm always surprised by how strong these prints are. To be honest, I can't remember if I printed them out with 100% infill, or if I was so focused on getting the printer to work that I forgot about that part. I suspect that I printed it out with the standard 15% infill, since the final printed supports aren't so heavy. These took 90 minutes to print each, with no supports also to reduce filament, and used 45 grams of filament, which I thought was acceptable. It turns out though that the solid blocks would also have taken 90 minutes to print out and used 60 grams instead. So all this extra design work didn't really make a huge difference. I still suspect though that the final design was nevertheless stronger than a solid block with 15% infill. The legs are 2 kilograms, the bed is probably about 56 kilograms, and my sister's son weighs about 70 kilograms. So that's 128 kilograms in total, divided by 4 supports, which means each support has to take 32 kilograms. We took the prints and very gently put the bed on them, which worked okay. I then carefully lay on the bed too, which was also okay. No creaks or breaks from the prints. I've gotten a few comments that it would have been much easier just with some blocks of wood, and after all this, I think I agree.